Nether portals. It is something we all need for our survival bases and projects, and being able to travel 8 times faster in Nether is really helpful for any sort of transport. However, there is one big issue. Nether portals just look horrible. It's just a black box of obsidian and some portal blocks in between, which, yeah, sure, the portal blocks can be used in creative ways, but when it comes to the frame itself, it just looks horrible. So today, we're gonna make them look awesome. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at 6 portal designs in Minecraft, and we have 6 fairly different designs, stretching from nature-based designs, as you can see in this first one, which is a portal incorporated into a cliff with custom trees and that kind of stuff. And we have a castle design, we have tree designs, we have even a Cyberpunk design, which I'm so hyped about. But yeah, we have lots of different designs, and we're gonna go through them one by one and just look at how I did things. I do not have the replay footage of me building them, so that's a bit annoying, but I'll still go through them one by one, telling you why I did certain things, how I did certain things, and how you can make your own, because that's what it's all about in the end. The first design is a cliff-based design, which I mentioned earlier, and it's basically the portal incorporated into a huge fantasy cliff. Like some sort of a portal inside a cliff would go to a magical world, or which it kind of does, you know? But that's kind of the point of it. You have pine or spruce trees on top of it, you have hanging dirt and leaves from the cliff, which maybe is not the most realistic thing, but it looks really good. It's inspired by Scar a lot, because he does a lot of these really cool fantasy cliffs, and I just love them. So I wanted to try something like that on my own, since I've never really done something in that style before. The cliff itself was built by hand, while the backside and the slope right there was built using World Edit. I used a brush, first with a brush sphere 3 or something, with gravity blocks so it falls down, and then I used some cylinder brushes to smooth it out afterwards, and changed the block over to a non-gravity block like grass, mixed in coarse dirt, added trees, and boom, you have this. For the path leading up to the portal, I alternated some polished andesite and some lodestones. They just create this really nice pattern leading up, and although it's not the most fitting for the area, considering it's very nature-ified, you know, it does work, and I just love the look of it. I originally saw this technique used by someone in the WBC builds Discord, and I just had to use it myself because it looks awesome. Moving on to the next design, we have a dead tree. This might be the portal design you want to go for if you have a Halloween-themed area or something along the lines of that. Because you have the portal incorporated into the base of a spooky tree, which, you know, it really gives those Halloween vibes. The tree is primarily made out of dark oak. I also mixed in some brown terracotta because it complements the dark oak very well. And for the branches I used a lot of fences and fence gates because they're so thin and it works perfect. To put the final spooky vibes on the tree, I changed the biome to a Badlands, which really makes it look dead and spooky, I guess. So yeah, the tree turned out great, and the environment around it too. I added some leaves, grass, coarse dirt, just to give it a bit of life, but the color makes it look dead anyway. For the third design, I wanted to keep the concept of the tree portal, but this time making it an alive tree. So I basically used my dead tree, added leaves on it by just placing them in on each branch, just fluffy, as you know. I have a ton of custom tree guides, so check them out if you're looking about how to do them. But yeah, I also changed the biome back to make it a bit more natural and welcoming. Added flowers, some mushrooms under the tree, and generally just make it look a lot more cozy than the dead tree. For the next design, I decided to go with a castle/fortification based design, and I made the main gate be the portal, and I'm quite happy with the way this turned out. I used a small diagonal wall with a little spruce railing on top. I textured the wall with cobblestone and other similar blocks, all in the grey category. And I have the 2 tower pieces in the middle, which basically look more like houses, but they have the arrow slits and the other fortification touches on them, and so they look like some sort of fortification. Again, it's not like a castle thing, it's rather more of a fort out in the wild, I guess. In front of the wall I added all these tree stumps and making it look like they've chopped down the trees in front of the castle or fortification to make it easier to see the enemies. You know, when they are sneaking up, they can't hide behind trees and other things like that. For this next design, I wanted to go with a temple-based design. I hadn't really done a lot of these before. I did my cathedral in my Italian-inspired village, and I kind of went off a bit of the same style, but then again I changed up the shapes completely, so it's a totally different build. But I did go for the same style with the roof, using the prismarine as a copper roof, an oxidized copper roof, which really, I love the look of it. It's just so awesome both in real life and Minecraft. One thing I'm also a huge fan of on this build is the vines and leaves growing on the build itself. I turned off the random tick speed so I don't have to worry about the vines growing completely out of hand. That just helps so much that you don't have to spam string everywhere. But I basically covered up some spaces of the wall with vines and leaves, and it just brings it so much to life. It makes it feel like the build is old, plants have been growing on it, and maybe not as well kept as you'd want it to, but that's kind of the charm of it, you know. To decorate the outside terrain, I added a few walls of cobblestone and had a different flower type or color on each layer. So in this case I only used 2, but you can expand this concept and have maybe up to 5-10 different layers of different colors of flowers on it, and that's just a super awesome effect. I could envision that on a huge hill or something. Of course, we can't forget the portal itself, so that's included in the entrance of the build. It would make sense it being a temple with the portal leading to some sort of a magical world or something. I just think that works for this concept. I did focus more on the build itself though, which you can clearly see here. I also just removed the frame of the portal, which you can do with word edit commands. But of course, it's not that bad having an obsidian frame right there. But you know, I just wanted to get a more clean look, and since I'm in creative, I might as well do it. Moving on, we have our final and probably the best design too, at least in my opinion. This is Cyberpunk / post-apocalyptic design. It's located in a wasteland. I also made a few custom mountains with word edit in the back, and we have dead trees and whatnot. They are a lot smaller than the one we did earlier though. Once again, the portal is incorporated into the building itself. And speaking of the building, it's super interesting in my opinion at least. I used a lot of different blocks I haven't used before. I actually used bedrock. I used a mix of some light grey terracotta, I think it is, and granite, dirt, coarse dirt, and I also used a mix of some acacia and granite for like a rusted metal thing. And of course you have the prismarine for the roof. I have used that before though. And same goes for the diorite and mushroom stem. The concept of the build is basically to overlay boxes on top of each other. I have different sized boxes, some of them being diagonal, some of them just being straight, and all in different shapes. And basically we put them on top of each other. And that's at least my way of doing this Cyberpunk / post-apocalyptic style. And of course I use different materials from box to box just to make sure that they don't blend into each other. As I said, I think this is my favorite design just because I love to be able to challenge myself while I'm building. And on this design I certainly did that. I used a lot of new stuff that I haven't used. New concepts for like the rusted metal and new blocks of course. I just generally am super happy with this design. And that is all of our designs for today done. I hope that you were able to make use of them somehow. I know I didn't provide a block for block tutorial on any of these, just because I want to rather show off the concept and then you can use it yourself. Because then again, I'm not the most fan of block for block tutorials. I just but I like to inspire you to make your own, because, as I said earlier, that's what it's all about in the end. You don't just want to be able to copy that one design, you want to be able to make your own and customize it however you want. But if you want to get your hands on these builds, there is a world download from my Patreons, which there's a link to in the description, and that'll give you access to some perks in the Discord, and you can pick up the world download right there. And while I'm on with the shameless plugs, there's also a link to my social media, the Discord server, Twitter, Instagram, etc., as well as my Twitch in the video description. I've just started streaming on Twitch, it's a few weeks ago now, and we started a survival world where we're building a custom island and lighthouse and cliffs and whatnot, so that's super fun too. So if you want to chat with me live, then click the link in the description and come hang with me when I stream. I'm usually live once or twice a week, I don't have a schedule yet though. With that said, I want to say thank you for everyone who watched all the way to the end. Make sure to like the video if you actually liked it, and subscribe too, because why not? I will see you next time, bye!